listening to Combat Sports UK.
Combat Sports UK.
What's happening, fight fans? Welcome back to Combat Sports UK. My name is Chris Simpson. Just before you watch the video, if you could just do me a massive favour and hit that subscribe button. We are trying to hit 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year. The more subscribers that we have, the more of a kickback we get from YouTube, the more time we have to invest in bringing you more and more interviews, doing better content with you, because we've got so much stuff in the pipeline. It's just going to be getting the time to be able to do that. So if you could just do us a massive favour before you watch it, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, helps out massively. Without further ado, I'm joined by probably the biggest prospect in the sport right now, someone who everyone knows, Stephen Clancy-Simmons. How you doing?
Yeah, good man. Just chilling, living the dream.
Yeah, well, like I said, as terms of an 18-year-old, it doesn't really get much better than what you've got at the moment. Undefeated, 7-0, taking on better fights every single time you step in there. And let's just touch on the fight that's been announced. People are calling it probably one of the best amateur fights that's ever been seen on the regional scene. For Braveheart's first ever event, to have obviously yourself versus Jake and Guy, one of the other best fighters in the UK. It must be a pretty exciting fight for you.
Yeah, definitely, man. Especially having it in Scotland and stuff. Like coming up, there was no Scottish shows, so I was always fighting down south, like on BMF, like what we were talking about before. I'm always fighting in England and stuff. So to have this close to home and the way it's played out, everything's kind of fell into place for this fight, I feel. And getting to the stage I'm in my amateur career, where I'm at for being my age, like I'm definitely living the dream. And this fight's just, I'm at the stage where I want to fight the best guys. I feel like I've been to America. I've trained with different high level pro athletes and stuff like that. People in the UFC. I've trained with multiple UFC athletes. I know where I'm at with my MMA game. I feel like I'm just so close to taking that next step that felt like such a dream when I was like a wee boy in school and stuff like that. So to have a big fight like this announced, it means a world to me, and have it close to home and so soon. It gets me excited talking about it now.
Yeah, like I couldn't imagine kind of being in your position. It's like something that fight fans would dream about, even though you've not made that step to professional now. There's not much of a gap now, I think, between amateurs and professionals. It's just you get paid quite a lot of money for you get paid a bit of money for being a professional. That's the only difference. Like
Sometimes, yeah.
yeah, sometimes, yeah. This Jake and Guy, obviously he's got quite a lot. I think this would be maybe his 16th amateur fight.
He's 13-3, and then he's got a fight this next week actually, and then I'll be his 18th fight, I believe. So he's very experienced, man. He's good.
Yeah. Do you think that's a bit of a strange, like, because if I was preparing for you, I'd be like, right, I'm just going to make sure I've got 8 weeks at this, no distractions, I'm focusing on one opponent. Do you think it's a bit strange, maybe, that he's taken a fight before obviously competing against you?
Nah, man. I've got a Thai fight like a few weeks after in August. So like, I, I think, see, amateur, man. I think a lot of boys, like when you get to that level, it's amateur, it's just about experience. And I think there's like Irish boys are good for just always jumping in and ready to fight. I think people are getting too obsessed with like needing to have fight camps at amateur, and they're like, oh, I won't fight this person yet. I'll maybe give it a few months and I'll fight this person, or I'll fight this person. Like Jake's just one of them boys that's like amateur means nothing to me. Like my records, I've got a big record of, look at how many fights I've took. Look at my resume. He'll just like, if he got, I think he probably struggles at this point in his career to find fights as well now. So the fact that he's probably got two so close together, he's probably excited with it. And I wouldn't imagine that he's going to take much more amateur fights after this anyways. He'll probably look at going pro.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what you said there about struggling to find fights, I think people like George Staines, Curtis Campbell, when they started building up their like ridiculous amateur record, it was just such a struggle for them to get matched up.
Yeah.
They kind of had to go to like Four Nations and IMAF where you
Mhm.
had to fight them. So, you alluded to your trip to America. Obviously, you were at 10th Planet. You were training with Patchy Mix at Extreme Couture. What was that kind of like? Because that must have been a pretty surreal experience for you.
Yeah, it was. There was some. It was just like, see, I don't know what happened, but like in my life, it's just went from. It just feels like it's went from being like a wee 12-year-old kid jumping about the gym, looking at like Danny Henry and Stevie Ray, and they were like the boys, to now 6 years down the line, and I'm like training every day. It's my full time, and I'm flying away to all these countries and stuff. So see, when I was like I was in the changing room, and then like I turned around and it was just me and Marab, and I'm sitting like talking to Marab and stuff, or like I was me and my brother Sean were training in the PI, just getting our own stuff in. And Cody Garbrandt was next to us. I ended up talking to Cody Garbrandt, and they were doing like their own sessions. So I was like, "Look, can I jump in with you and get some training in?" And he was like, "Yes, speak to the coach." So I spoke to the coach, and he was like, "Come down tomorrow at this time. We've got sparring on." And I ended up sparring with a couple of really good pro guys, and like Aljamain Sterling sat at the side and watched my rounds. And then like we done 3 5s, I think it was, and then in between the rounds, Aljamain Sterling would like come up with my water and like talk to me, and like just having stuff like that with like such high level and knowledgeable people, even being around their energy and getting to feed off it and see what they're like, and it was just cool, man. Experiences like that mean the world, and it's like having people like Paul Craig there to be able to stay with him for the full 10 days that you're out there, see what he's doing, and it's that is like a really really big experience in itself, because that'll take my game like a lot. Just not even in the sense of fighting, it's in the sense of fight week, seeing how things are done, seeing how pros do it, and it definitely gives you an experience to gain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that was what I was going to allude to there. You mentioned three fighters there, Cody Garbrandt, Marab, and Aljo, who have all either currently champions or have been champions at some point. That must be big for your mindset as well, to kind of
Yeah,
have that like championship mentality around you.
yeah, definitely. It was a big confidence boost, America, because like sometimes you're thinking about what level you're at and how do you fare off compared to these guys, and then going there, being a native, like going training in front of them, they don't know who I am are. And like when people come in, like when you go into their gym, it's kind of like you're going into their territory, so it's like it's not going to be you're not going to get easy rounds. So I was thrown in with boys that were like 4-0 pros. There was a boy I got put in with was like an 11-2 pro, and I'm doing well against these boys, like really well. Like winning rounds, etc. And then for them to come up to me and be like, "What's your name? Like, what age are you?" And then tell them my name, tell them what age I'm at, and then watch their face change when I tell them that. It's like it gives me such a confidence boost, because I'm thinking, I'm closer to when I was a kid. I just wanted to be a professional athlete and fight in the UFC. I don't really care about money or anything like that as such. Like all I want to do is fight and be a world class fighter, be regarded as one of the best. And I feel like I'm so much closer to turning pro and getting to Cage Warriors or getting to PFL or getting to the UFC than what I am if I was to turn back around and go back the way. Like 6 years down the line, God knows where I could be. Whereas if I go 6 years, but 6 years back the way, I'm back to like day one, like when I first joined higher level. So it's cool to like sit here and even talk about it and think about it.
Yeah, like I said, it's like I can only really talk because I've competed a couple of times when I was younger, like what we're talking like 12, 13 years ago now, where the sport wasn't the same place that it is now for amateur fighters.
Mhm.
It was like leisure centers with guys who were just basically rolled in off the street. But I couldn't it for me it's more like when I'm like a media member and I'm spending times around like Paddy and Tom Aspinall and stuff, and you do realize that these guys are just normal people. They're just
Mhm.
normal guys, and you're all kind of striving towards the same thing, and that's to make a name for yourself. So yeah,
Mhm.
like I said, I'm jealous. It must have been fantastic for you. When you've come back from America, do you just feel like you're just a completely different person now? You've changed, and is it made you more motivated to kind of get to the point where these
Um,
people that you surrounded yourself with are currently?
I'm trying to think. If it? I think it's definitely given me a drive, and it's like, look, you're so close. Like let's just keep going. Let's just keep doing what I'm doing because it's working. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Sometimes like I feel like you're like I train all the time, day in, day out. Even if I've not got a fight, I'm still in the gym. Like there is no sort of like difference between me in camp and me out of camp. It's just maybe the intensity. But I'm training constant, and sometimes you get to the point where you're like, "I'm not getting any fights, or I've got this niggle," and you're like, but now in my head, I just need to keep doing what I'm doing, and it's definitely gave me a boost to like even have connections with these type of people now, and like getting my name out there. It's just cool to like see how much my career's going, and I don't know how to finish that, but yeah, it's definitely motivated me going to America and doing the things I'm doing.
Yeah, I want to touch on your last fight against Garen Shamar. I know Garen really well. I'm close with his coach, James Dixon, and this was a fight I was super interested in
Mm.
because in terms of level of competition, it was quite a significant step up for you, and
Mm.
I think it was an opportunity to see where you were really at, and a first round finish in a fight against someone like Garen, who's just coming off like an 8 second knockout at Golden Ticket as well.
Mm.
Did you expect that sort of fight against Garen, or did you expect maybe a longer drawn
Yeah.
out experience?
Look, man, when I was like, because I had my first fight in MMA at 16. I was just a young boy, like I was a bit wild and stuff like that, and like from the person I was when I started fighting to like I've matured a lot. See, from being a 16-year-old boy still at high school fighting, like having my braces in and stuff like that, to now being this kid, my mindset's a lot different. So going in with a boy like Garen Shamar, everyone's like, "Oh, this is a step up in competition. Like this boy's really good." I'm like, "Good man, I'm ready to show what I can do. Like I'm not a wee boy anymore. Like let's get this." I feel like even with like a few fights before in Manchester where I fought a boy from Manchester top team, it was like, "Ah, this boy's old, man. He's a lot older than you." I'm like, "Cool, let's get it." And I feel like when I was younger fighting, I was fighting a lot of guys that are a bit wild, like running at me with crazy different sort of techniques. I do my best work when people are good. See when you're good and I'm good and we're both good at MMA and we're let's out. I'm good at just picking people apart, really. That's why I was really excited for that fight with Garen Chamar because I knew how good he was and how well rounded he was. Um, but yeah, to get a first round finish, I feel like I knew that I was going to do something in that fight that was good, man. Because that's all I was training towards, and it was all I was really thinking about.
Yeah, and like I say, one that everyone got, not as much as this fight that you've got coming up now. Like a lot of people have got their eyes on this, but loads of people that I was speaking to were interested
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that previous
yeah,
fight
definitely.
at BMF. There's no rush for you or anything when I want to speak about this next thing because you said you're only 18. But what are sort of the aspirations in regards to turning pro? Have you got like a time, like a map that you want to kind of follow, or are you kind of just taking every day as it
Yeah,
comes?
it's one of them ones you can try and follow it, like you can try and make a map and follow it to a T, but life's not like it's never always going to go to plan. Do you know what I mean? Like there's so many things that could happen. So I'm just trying to take every day as it comes. I know that in the next 5 years or however long, like I know very, very shortly, like the next few years, you are going to see me in the UFC. That's I'm going to be a UFC world champion. Like there's no doubt in my mind. Since I can remember being in like primary school and telling my mum that I didn't want to go to school because I was just going to be a champion. I didn't know MMA or I was more into boxing and stuff, but I knew I was going to be it was like a champion fighter. I just in school I loved fighting, like outside in the streets I love fighting, and I love fighting in a cage. Like all I've ever wanted is to be a champion at something, and like the UFC is something I'm definitely going to do. So that this map is like it's hard because there's so many new promotions out there. There's so many that you can see the route that my brothers went down. He's went down Cage Warriors and he's absolutely smashing it. You can see boys like Mark, Lorenzo, they've all went to PFL. There's even Aries now. Aries is quite a good promotion. There's like promotions in America. There's so many ways to this thing. I don't know how I'll do it. I do have. I want to go pro soon, and I want to fight in the IMAF. We were speaking about it a wee bit before, but I keep saying I've said this quite a few times. Scotland doesn't have a team. I think I'm looking into going as like an independent fighter. So that's like November time. I'd love to go get that done because then that'd be so much experience. You get a good couple of fights in a week. And then once I've done that, I want to turn pro in like December or January. Um, But it's all up to my coach James as well. Like I don't get to make these decisions. I just kind of speak to him and tell him how I'm feeling, and he gives me my plan, and I'm so confident in what he wants me to do. Like like I would never turn around to James if he's like, oh look, I've got this opponent. I think we should fight him. I'd never just say no. Like if he wants me to fight this person, I'll fight that person. If he wants me to go to that promotion, I'll go to that promotion. If he wants me to sign with this management, I'll sign with the management. Like I have a lot of trust in him, and I believe that whatever path he has set out for me will work, and I'll just do what I'm doing, which is just eat, sleep, train, repeat, and fight occasionally.
Yeah. Well, I don't think when that time comes when you're going to turn pro that you're going to be short of options. Obviously, PFL are now
Mhm.
signing people to make professional debuts on their shows. Cage Warriors have started doing that recently. We've seen it with
Yeah.
people like Shay Ingram, and guys like that who had really good amateur records. I think Octagon are always in the market for talent from this country. So I don't think you're going to be very short of options. I just want to touch on your brother a little bit because it must be good to have quite a good driving force there in terms of what you can achieve. Because after his last fight, I think a lot of people are talking about him getting on the Contender Series or getting a short notice fight in the UFC. Because
Mm.
the only real way you're going to get signed now is Contender Series, or if you take a short notice
Yeah,
fight,
yeah.
which is bullshit. But it's kind of just the way they're operating in the UK. It must be good to kind of have that to kind of look at and think. Yeah, well, we're both heading there, so you've kind of both driving each other on.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm a couple of years behind Sean, so I'm just like following behind him, watching what he's doing. But nah, Sean's like unreal. He's on a league of his own now, especially for his age. I don't think there's any sort of professional kid in the UK that skill wise at any weight division is close to Sean. For his age and what he's doing, he's unreal, man. Like he's you can see with him the way he dealt with the main event as well in Cage Warriors. Like that's a lot of pressure, but he doesn't think of it that way. It's just another day in the office, and it's just another fight. Like the boy he fought was a very high level opponent. He's got a good resume, and he's got wins over people that are doing well in the UFC. It's just cool for me to watch, and I'm very close to my brother. I mean, I spend probably like 20 hours a week with him just in the car driving back and forth to training. And we very rarely ever argue or go like we're just a very we work well with each other. And getting to watch him do what he's doing, and for me to just be the wee brother, like a big fan, and watch him do that is class, and it definitely motivates me to do well as well because I want to. There's always like a wee bit of competition as well. It's like I want to do that before you. I want to, or you main evented at 22. I'll try and do it at fucking 20. Do you know what I mean? Like just silly stuff like that. We'll have jokes about, or like he had his first amateur fight like when he was like 16, but it was like in September, and I had my first amateur fight at like 16 in October, and it's like silly stuff like that. He's just like it's like wee bits of competition that it's just cool, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of like working on the dynamic of like a Scottish version of like Nick and Nate Diaz. That's kind of
Yes.
what it's kind of what I would like. I was speaking. I don't know if you know the young kids, Bella and Lila Adams. They're also signed to HD Global. They've Bella is 16 and Lila's 13, and they both won the European IMAFs and the World Championship IMAFs back to back, both sisters. And I was thinking, yeah, I love it when you've got two siblings and they're in the UFC at the same
Yeah.
time. They can kind of just be a bit of a force. Has that been like compared to you a lot too about like kind of like the Scottish equivalent of the Diaz
Yeah.
brothers?
Therefore, the funny thing is about it is like Sean's like our styles really contradict each other, but we're so similar in so many other ways. Like Sean, like I don't even know how to explain it, man. Like he's like I can actually learn so much off my brother. Like I've definitely changed as a person just hanging about with my brother because he's not really like materialistic. He doesn't care about money. He doesn't. He just wants to be happy in his life and fight. Like he just loves fighting, and he doesn't care about like he couldn't give a fuck about a Gucci bag or he couldn't care about a nice car. He just wants to beat people up and spend time with his family, and I really admire that. Whereas sometimes, like when I was younger, like last year and stuff like that, I was more try to like get money and get flashy and stuff. And then I'm looking at my brother and I'm like, he's got such a good reputation, but he doesn't care about like what top you're wearing or who's got a nice chain. Do you know what I mean? It's like stuff like that. I think will be funny when we're both in the UFC because we'll contradict each other's style, and I definitely think that soon enough we'll be like a funny duo probably next to each other and like press conferences and stuff like that. Definitely bounce off each other.
Yeah, it's a good vision to have that. Like no matter how far you two go in your career, like as far as you're concerned, the vision is always you two together, which is
Hmm.
it's a nice dynamic. I just want to talk about kind of the future of Scottish MMA because I don't think it's ever been as bright as it currently is right now.
Mm.
Obviously, with yourself, your brother, you've got people like Rhys McEwen who's fighting for titles. You've got Fraser Patterson who's one of the best amateur middleweights in the UK, if not Europe. Do you think there's ever been sort of this wave of Scottish fighters coming up all together before?
I mean, you've seen it with Stevie and Danny,
Yeah.
and like the Dinky Ninja Boys and stuff like that. But the future is definitely very bright, especially with like some of the younger kids. Like there's a few kids that are like a year younger than me, and they're quite big. Like there's Kai and Liam, and Tank, for example, and these kids are class, man. Wee Kai, he just had his amateur debut against a boy from Aspire not that long ago and knocked him out. And then wee Liam, he fought on Carol Prince's show. He got a TKO as well with a head kick. And then Tank fought not that long ago also and got a stoppage. I think it was in round one. So like there's so many kids now that are just coming. Because I feel like in Scotland, like your ideal mentality is like people just want to get a trade, be a joiner, drink with their mates in the pub, and then like everyone's got that same mentality. Like no one really aspires to be better than that. Whereas a lot of these kids now are like packing in school early and just coming to the gym, living off nothing, just try to live off their parents as long as they can. Just because they've got a dream and they want to chase it, and I think that's so cool. Like I've not seen that in a younger generation since when I was a wee guy, because that's what I used to do. And for these kids to be coming up and doing stuff like that, I feel like in a few years, man, there's going to be a lot of Scottish fighters in the UFC or making noise. Even with like the grappling and just MMA as a sport, I think soon enough it's the UK as well. Not even just Scotland, but the UK. England's always been doing pretty good, so that I feel like the UK are starting to shine a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what you were just kind of speaking about there resonates with me, where you were saying, yeah, it's kind of just to get a trade, get a quote unquote, what they like to say is get a proper job, or is this, it's
Mm,
not a proper job.
yeah,
And it's like, well, if what you've got's a proper job, why would I want a proper job? Because you're fucking miserable and all you do is complain about your life and you're
yeah.
not happy with it. So, like, why would I want to do what
Why would
you're
I take
doing?
it?
To,
That's another thing is I only take advice from people that I want to be like. Like, there's always going to be that guy in a pub sitting saying like, "Oh, I could have been a professional footballer, but I fell and hurt my knee, or I used to go out and get on it, so I didn't do it." Like, I mean, shut up, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many excuses in the world. There's people that go and get stuff done, and there's people that just sit on the couch and watch time go by, and like it's that kind of thing that's like the road to heaven feels like hell and the road to hell feels like heaven. It's like people are just so comfortable with like they find comfort in doing nothing, and it's like this whole body positivity shit and all this new stuff that you're seeing, like it's so weird, man. I feel like the generations are starting to come back, and but like people got so happy with being like fat and lazy and not. I'm not saying you need to go out and go and be an athlete, but at least do something with your time on this earth, man. You've not got a lot of time. Like try and fulfill it to your best ability. Like I, if I was never to, this is an if. This is definitely not a possibility. But if I was to like ever not make it as an athlete or not make it as a fighter, like I would at least be happy that I gave it all my best. And if I never gave it all my best, I'd probably be lying there like, fuck man, what have I done with my life? Like, where's all this time went? Like, I'd be gutted, man, if I never gave it like everything that I could have gave it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like obviously I do the MMA media. I'm matchmaking now for Bloodline Fight Series. I'm managing the media for Vulcanite, and then I've got a history podcast because I'm a massive into history and stuff like that. And my people that I work with and other friends are like, "Oh God, you make me feel so lazy. It must be exhausting." It's like, yeah, I don't want to just fucking sit at an office all day
Yeah,
and speak about shit I don't care about. I was like, so I'll try and get out of that whole the rut, but it's easy for people to kind of get a 9 to 5 and like I
yeah,
said, go to the pub with your mates and pretend everything's all good. And it's like, nah, that's not what life's about. Go and
yeah.
experience something. So yeah, it's I get where you're coming from. And I just want to kind of briefly before we go, kind of touch on the Jake and Guy fight. Because I don't feel like we touched on that. I think we went down rabbit hole
We
of
did, we did, we did.
kind of like
Yeah.
self-help and that. But what are you kind of expecting from this fight and in terms of the approach to this fight? How are you kind of feeling it's going to work its way out?
Like as in terms of in the fight, like how do I think it'll go and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
in the
Yeah.
actual contest.
Look, I think I've got a lot of respect for him. I think he's a top level opponent. What am I expecting from this fight? I'm just expecting two kids to go out there and show how good like UK MMA is, like Scotland, Ireland, like. But I feel like I'm missing the way I'm training and the way I mean to go on just now is a different level. And my brother put a comment saying like his roots are deep in this game. Like my I've been around fighting since I was born, man. Like there's pictures of me like literally like 1 years old with a head guard on. So this means everything to me. And I hope that Jake trains as hard as he can and comes out and we just put on a show, man. I really want to go out there and have a. I'm not saying I don't want to go out there and be like, oh, I want to have a scrap in that. I want to go out there and put on a spectacular performance. I want to go out there and do a first round finish. Do you know what I mean? Like with Gary and Shamar, like I want everyone to be watching this and I want everyone to be like, oh my God, this boy, this boy. And then I want to go in there, I want to do him in a round and then be like, look at that, remember my name. I'm gonna and then mean to go on in my next fight fight someone just the same level, just as good. Do that again, go to the IMAF, win the IMAF. These are just things that I'm training so hard and I want to just go in and do. Do you know what I mean? Like have respect for these boys and I think they're really good, but let's just go in and let's see. Like it's it's a hard one, man. Because I don't want to just be running my mouth and talking shit. Like, because I think he's good and like, hope he trains as hard and I hope I get the best version of him. But I'm going in there and I want to put on a spectacular performance. Like, this is a very selfish sport, so I just need to take as much as I can. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you there. It's kind of I don't like the whole oh yeah I want to go in there and I want to have five rounds and I want it to be an absolute war. I don't really get that mentality because I think you've only got so much time in the cage. You've only got so much time to kind of have on your body. So why would you want to have 15 minutes of getting smacked about and
Mhm.
stuff and
Yeah,
instead of getting a first round finish and everyone
yeah.
going wow.
I don't get that, man. People have some serious mental health that they say that. It's wild, isn't it? They're like, bro, let's put on a war. Let's get CTE. I'm like, patch that, man. I don't want to get hit in the face.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
I mean, like you're always gonna get hit. Like you can't. Like my dad said this funny thing the other day. He was like, you can't go swimming and not get wet. Like you're obviously gonna get hit, but like I don't want to drown, man. I don't want to get
Yeah.
like you can come to terms with the things that happens, but like I would much rather go out there and finish someone in 30 seconds than have a 15-minute war. Like the people that would rather have a 15-minute war than finish someone in a minute is they're they need checked.
Yeah, baffled. That blows my mind. But yeah, Stephen, that has been fantastic, mate. I've really enjoyed this chat. I feel like we
Yeah,
kind of
definitely.
put the world to rights a little bit for a short amount of time. But yeah, it's going to be a fight that I'm tuning in for, mate. I think a lot of people are. It was it's a cracking fight, and for their first event, it's unbelievable. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, and everyone, make sure you watch this kid's journey because it's on a meteoric rise, and yeah, it's going to be in the UFC. It's not really a matter of when, in my opinion. If sorry, in my opinion, it's when. So yeah, once again, Stephen, I really appreciate it, and I hope the fight goes well for you, mate.
Thank you, my man. Cheers.
Yeah, not a problem. Make sure you do subscribe. Like I said, trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, and just share this interview about. Make sure you go follow Stephen on his journey, because it's a hell of a one. But yeah, all the best for the rest of your fight camp, mate. And then, like I said, hopefully you get your hand raised on the night.
Yes, thank you.
Nice one. Thank you.